All right, looks like the last part, last but not least, is part number one, which is the column. Again, it's not real hard to model this. We're going to create this as a kind of a shape like we did on one of the other parts, extrude it. Then we'll go ahead and create a rectangle right here and extrude cut this little slot in. And then the rest of all of these things are all holes. So it's going to be a lot of sketches and points. And using the hole wizard to do things like counterbores and countersinks and some more counterbores over here and some more threaded holes over here. So there's a lot of action going on in this thing, but really it's not that bad. It's going to be a matter of definitely taking a look, and zooming in a little bit to be able to see these actual dimensions that are going on this thing. So if you can't see it on your paper and you can't follow along with me, you can definitely open up the digital copy of this and be able to zoom in and check everything out there. So that's definitely an option for you right there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and zoom out here a little bit and get started on this thing. All right. Part. And of course, we're going to start a 2D sketch. I think on this one we'll select the front plane to make everything work out correctly. And I'm going to go ahead and think of this as kind of starting down at the bottom and coming over and kind of making this L looking guy kind of like that. All right, so we're going to start with a line from the origin coming up vertically 6 inches. That's the overall height of the part. All right. And I'm gonna skip that little curve on the very top right now. Looks like the overall the width of this thing goes out 3.5. Enter. We're gonna go down vertical line 2 inches. Enter. Over, and again I'm gonna pretend that I'm not seeing that little spot in there, and I'm not even sure where that's at right now. So I'm just gonna click there. Make sure I get a vertical line there. Click, and then finish it off there. All right. I got to move my my print a little bit. Okay, so it looks like dimension, and this little line down here is 1 inch. Okay, so we got 1 inch here, 3.5 here. So this is fully defined, so that's good. The only thing we need to do now is put some curves in here. It looks like on the print this tells me that the radius is 1 inch. Now, another tool that we didn't use a lot of in 2D is making a fillet right here. So this is also how you can make chamfers. I use it every once in a while, and this is a great tool for it. So it's going to be a 1 inch chamfer that will go from click this line and click this line. So now you have your 1 inch chamfer. It looks like your other radius is 0.38. So we're going to go ahead and change that to 0.38. And we're going to click this guy and this guy, and now you have that's your overall extrusion that you're going to start with. So we'll hit E on the keyboard. It looks like this part. What do we got for a total thickness here? 1 inch is what it looks like to me. Look good to you? 1 inch. Okay, so here's my part. Next up, we're going to put this the slot in there. So we'll click that face and we'll go ahead and start a new sketch. Zoom in a little. I'm going to project the geometry. So I got the outside edges of everything. I'm going to go ahead and also use just a normal 2-point rectangle to kind of snap myself a little rectangle guy here. From here, we need to kind of use the dimensions of the rectangle or whatever. So I'm going to use D on the keyboard. Automatically, D on the keyboard will hit up on the dimension tool. So we'll go ahead and click these 2 lines, drag that up, and it looks like 0.5. And that's the center line of those circles. So really this is symmetrical. It's centered in there. So we could do the math, or we could use, remember, these vertical constraints that we can use sometimes. So let's put one of these in. So there's the center of our rectangle, and there's the center of our part. Oops. I hate that when that happens. So let's select the center of the line, or the rectangle, move over a little further, and click that to select the middle of the part. So now you can see this is perfectly aligned with our overall thickness of the part. E for extrude, we're going to select this little spot, and instead of adding to it, we're going to use the cut feature, and we're going to tell it that it needs to go in how much. If I look at the print, I think I see 0.625, and then hit enter. So now you got that done, and I think we're ready to do a whole bunch of different holes. So why don't we just go ahead and put those 4 holes in the front of this guy right here. So it's 4 threaded holes, 4x 8-32 UNC United coarse threads, and they'll be 0.438 deep into the part. So let's go ahead and just click on one of these and create a new sketch. To zoom around and move things around a little bit. I think just to make life easy for us, we'll go ahead and project the geometry of this face and this face. They're all the same depth, so we can make them all in one sketch. So we'll just go ahead and hit point here and create ourselves some points, line up some ant trails here. And then we can go ahead and dimension those points. We've already got them centered, so that's good. It looks like from there we have a distance of, from here to the top, appears to be 0.125. Make sure and watch this other one. Make sure this other one moves as well when I hit enter. And it didn't. Did you see that? So if you want, you can add another dimension over there, or I like the horizontal tool. It's up to you. You can click that point and then click this point. That'll line it up for you. If I look on the rest of the print, that's the 0.125, and on the print it's telling me from the top, I'm going to show you this here real quick, from the top of this surface right here down to the center of that hole, that's 1.875. So we need to, when we do that one, we need to click dimension, and we need to dimension this line to this point. 1.875, and again I'm watching this point down here. It didn't move, so we're going to need to use the horizontal constraint to constrain those two. They're already centered already this way, so we're good to go. Because we project the geometry, we're good to go to put these points in. So finish sketch, hole tool. It's a threaded hole. It does have a distance termination, so the threaded, this is an 832, so we're going to go size, and we're going to find a number 8 screw, 832. This automatically, these two numbers should match each other, so the depth was what? It was 0.438. Make these match, 0.438. Alright, so we match those things up, 832 threads. You can see them looking good, previewing, hit OK. And zoom in, and we got those threaded holes. Looking good. Alright, what's up? Let's go ahead and put, let's put this big, what the heck? Sorry, dudes. Dudettes, whatever, know what I'm saying. Let's put this big hole in here. Big hole, it goes in here and then it goes through the other side right here. There's a lot of holes on this part. So to do that, it looks like, if I'm looking at this thing, I'm gonna flip this thing around, and I'm gonna start my sketch over here, because I'm gonna do a counter bore on this. I think I'm gonna try this. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but let's give it a whirl. I'm not exactly sure where this point needs to go, so I'm just gonna place it. And then I'm going to come over to dimension, and I'm going to look at some dimensions here. I'm going to say, all right, well, from here to here, again, see how that's not letting me do that dimension, so I need to project some geometry here. I need this line, and what else do I need? I need this line. You could do as many as you want, really. You could project the whole face if you wanted to. So let's try that again. Dimension, okay? shows me that's 1 inch. And this over here shows me it's 1.062. That's funky. I like it. So that's the center of that thing. Finish sketch. Going to the hole. This time we're going to do a counterbore hole. That's this one right here. This is a new one for you. Boy, it's got a lot of information here. The counterbore itself, so this top number is the counterbore. This is the diameter of the hole. This is how deep the counterbore should go. And this is how deep, in this case it's threaded, but we don't want it threaded, we just want a hole. So that's the diameter of the hole. So the counterbore on the print says that it's 1.170. The depth of that counterbore says it's 0.776. If this is all going to work out or not. This size of the hole itself is 0.685. I actually think that should go through the whole thing. There we go. I got to make a couple changes here. Sorry about that. 117,776. Where something does not, that does not look right to me. Well, it's close, but boy, it seems like that's a real big counterbore, but that's what it's saying. Obviously that hole is going to be on the other side, which is good, and that's what we want. Just talking through this right here. So let's try one more, just double check my math here. 117 is the counterbore. It's going, the hole going all the way through is 685. And it says the depth of the counterbore is supposed to be 776. So that's it, man. We're hitting okay. So I personally think there might be a little issue with that, but I guess we'll find out when we put this thing all together, because you're kind of counterboarding into this other side here. But that's it. That's the ticket. All right. So counterbore's in. What else do you want to do? Let's do those holes over here on this side. Looks like those are number 1032 holes. So I'll start a sketch on this face point. I just know that the points are kind of like lined up with this thing, so I'm going to hit project geometry first. Project this little circle. Heck, I'm going to project that whole face, actually. So I just was clicking on those to project them. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some points in, because I know they're lined up through the center of this thing. So, you know, I'm just going to put them here and here. And then we'll go to dimension. And what do we got going on here? It looks like we got from the edge, from this edge to this point, 0.562. And from this edge to this point, 1.562. All right, that's it. They're already aligned vertically, so we don't have any other dimensions we need there. Let's hole those puppies. This is going to be a threaded hole, a regular one. Switch it back over to that. Looks like the old thread is supposed to be a number 10, so I'm going to scroll up a ways. 1024? No. 1032 UNF. Well, what do we got for depth? 0.25. And then we can go ahead and hit OK. Now we got those holes in. So we got all that action going on there. Looks like we got a circular pattern hole feature on the other side that we're going to use to mount the plate on here. So let's go ahead and do one of those real quick by creating a new sketch. Coming over there, let's go ahead and project some geometry. We're going to make one of these holes, and then we'll create the circular pattern and do all the rest of them. So we'll just put a point in here. And looks like this point just goes vertical there, which is good. I'm not showing, we're showing a bolt hole circle, alright, so that's 0.725. That looks good there. And we can go ahead and put the rest. These are 3 of these 832 threads is what we got going on here. So let's go ahead and do a circular pattern right now of this point around, click on the axis button, around this axis. We only need 3 of them. So there's this one, and this one. And we can hit OK. And then we'll go ahead and do a diameter change on some dimensions right here. So from here to this point right here should be the bolt hole circle diameter, 0.725. And all of these then update to where they need to go. So now we have that done. Finish. We can go into hole. And again, these will be threaded holes, so we're good there. Looks like the size on these we said was a number 8, so we got to scroll up. These are 832s, 832, so we're good there. Depth of the 832s, 0.375, and accept. So those go all the way through this thing. It does not show that on the drawing. We better take a look at that. Double click. 0.375 depth, threads here. Looks like we got a little bit of a typo. We got an error on the print here, kids. So I'm going to show you how we're going to fix that. I believe that these threads right here shouldn't go any thicker than the thickness of this. I'm going to actually do an inspection right here with a distance. I'm going to check and see what this distance is. 0.25. I don't think it should be any greater than 0.25. So we'll go ahead and we'll try that thing again. So back to our model here. X out of that. Double click hole 4. Depth 0.25. And I see the problem already. Distance. How did we do that? Maybe that 375 was right. Okay, so we're back. Termination distance 375, 375. Number 832. Look at it from here. Now that is correct. So we were good. All right. Print was correct. Error in the operator. So as you can tell, things like that do happen. All right, looking good. So we got some holes in here. We got those pattern. We got the other holes. Looks like to me the only thing we got left are the holes that need to go over here. 2 of them, 2 out of the 3 are all the same. So let's start with the counter bore. That's over on the back side. Click this bad boy. This face. New sketch. We're going to put a point. We're going to project our geometry here. We'll put a point. So we hit an ant trail here in the middle. We'll do a dimension. Looks like this dimension is 0.5 up. Centered on the part, which is good. Finish sketch. Hole. We're going to hit the counter bore tool right here. So it's calling out a 0.562 counter bore. It is not threaded, so I can get rid of that. Depth of the counter bore, 0.375. The thickness of the actual hole is 0.390. And it looks like it goes through the whole part, so through all its termination. Looks good. And last but not least, we got one more sketch. Project geometry, point. And we're going to go to dimension. And it looks like from the bottom up to the first hole is 1.650. And from that hole to the next hole is 1.7. So that's the location. Again, we're centered on the part, so we don't need to do anything with that. We go to hole. One more new hole is the countersink hole. These do go all the way through the part as well. Okay, so through all is the termination. They're not threaded. The call out on here says that it has a countersink of 375, 82-degree angle, and the diameter of the hole that we're cutting through is 0.172. If I zoom in a little, looks like that's looking good. Okay. And check it out. You got a lot of different holes on that, a lot of different things. But if I look at this side according to the print, and I look at this side according to the print, you got everything done. So that's a pretty big part, mostly because it takes a lot of sketches and a lot of different tools. So we just went to the eye properties, hit the aluminum in there. Again, you can see all these different holes that we created over here, a lot of different stuff, and just a really good part for the column. So good work. And next up will be a couple extra credit projects if you'd like to do that, and we'll start talking assembly. Good job.